my dad and stepmom did drugs. Okay, a lot of times they would make me feel bad that they had to pay for child support because it took away from them. You know,
Wow.
and she would try to say it took food away, but they smoked drugs in front of me. So like,
Yeah.
like I know, like even as a little kid, like I knew that even though they were making me feel bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I knew that it was wrong because bad people were lying to me, right? Like I knew that, but at the same time, how they would make me feel as a
Mm-hmm.
little kid, and then I would have to, if I wanted to still see my dad, I had to be a certain way, right? You had to, you can't talk about your feelings. You want to stay, right? So you just like bury it. But then my mom, who loves me unconditionally, I would take all that negativity, dump it on her as a little kid because I had nowhere else to put it.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it in that situation at my dad's because that might not mean I could go see him anymore, right? And that was made clear by my stepmom. So then my mom would take it. She would take, or they would do weird little things. Like one time, they brought us back early, and my mom was passed out. They put us through the windows, the unlocked windows, and like put me and my brother inside, and then went down to the gas station and called Child Protective Services, right?
Wow.
And so I had for like 6 months, we were interviewed by Child Protective Services whether or not they were going to take us away from my mom. Like, so that's the kind of crazy my mom had to deal with on a regular basis. And so she's trying to cope, also work 2 jobs, raise kids by herself. Maybe my dad comes around every now and then. When he doesn't come around, our feelings get hurt. We dump it on her, right? Yeah. I'm not saying like I'm not proud I did that, but I didn't know how else
You're
to
a kid.
cope.
You're a kid. You were in that position. Yeah.
But I look at how she handled things. If I was maybe a little bit better or figured it out quicker, I could have helped sooner.
Yep.
I know. I'll drive myself crazy, but that's it. I had to grow up like that.
You can't help but feel that way. Like when my parents split up, I knew it was the right thing for them to do. Now let me just preface: I did not suffer a situation anywhere near as bad as yours, but as was just it sounds like. But like when my parents split up, I knew it was the right thing to do. But my dad would constantly badmouth my mom's side of the family, and until one day I just flat out told him, I said, that's half me.
Yeah.
Whenever you badmouth my mom's side of the family, you're my mom. You're badmouthing. I'm part of that family, and but it's one of those things where it's like at that age too, it's got to be just like for those formative years because you're in that age where you're forming your identity. You're becoming who you are, and to have this just like inconsistency in feeling and just like being told like I don't want to piss off my parents, my stepmom and my father because I love them even though they're shitty to me. I love them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bury it down, and I love my mom, but I've got to let it out.
You gotta let it out. Yeah. It was toxic, and like I realized now like my mom has dealing with her own trauma. My dad has his own trauma. Stepmom, her own trauma, but that you got all these adults that were coming off like the 60s and 70s, having a lot of fun with drugs, and being super, super selfish, and then have kids.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah. All the 80s kids were Gen X were basically, a lot of them were in situations like this, where their parents were just going crazy, partying, having fun, drama. And then the whole like talking bad about each other, what the toxic situation that was created was like my stepmom and my mom and the fighting, and then my dad left my stepmom and there's another lady involved, and the children were used as pawns and pitted against each other, right? Like, and so as siblings, we're all trying to love each other, but at the same time, it's hard, right? It's hard. And then my dad, his main thing was like, I would just say neglect. he didn't fight for us. He didn't speak up. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't say horrible things to me. He spanked me one time, and then he cried, right? But he couldn't handle things. And so he just checked out. And him checking out did not help the situation.
Yeah. Did that allow the stepmom to be much more?
And well, so it's like, so it I don't like, drugs definitely big problem. Drugs were the big problem. But I think I'm trying not to be mean. I'm trying like I don't know how to. It's like you want to say things,
Hmm.
right? Some things are hard to say. Like
Well,
she's not my mom. She was horrible to me, right? But she's my brother's mom, who I'm not
mhm,
talking to right now
yeah.
because of kind of generational abuse. You know, similar. He's doing similar things, and I got triggered. I couldn't handle it. You
Yeah.
know, so like,
It sounds like the drugs were a symptom of the real problems. Like
oh yeah,
it
yeah,
exasperated it, but
self
like
medicating.
yeah,
Yeah,
self-medicating the real issues. And
yeah,
do you feel like are you and you here's the thing, you can still love your parents.
yeah.
I think you can still love your parents, love your brother's mother, and
Mm.
love everybody and still know who they are and be
Yeah.
disappointed. And it's okay to feel disappointed if your dad didn't stand up for you. That's okay to
I know, but
feel.
like a part of me, and I don't know if this is intuition or imagination, right?
Mhm.
A part of me feels like there were times that she might have let us get hurt.
It's
Let's leave it
possible.
at that. That changes things, right? Like,
Mhm.
um, there's also people that don't tell the truth. So you can't get closure from certain types of people.
Yeah.
And especially when they say, "Oh, you need to get over that," or they dismiss you. All the different ways that they can dismiss your feelings
Mhm.
like have been done. So you're left with your imagination, I guess, or your gut feeling that that you know this person's not good, but you kind of bury it, right?
Yeah.
So you can have relationships with your little brother, right? And then when
Mhm.
he starts to show signs that that he maybe pretending to care, which is really weird. It's your
Yeah.
sibling. It's a weird I don't know. It like my mind. I went into shock.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think that I don't know how to. It's weird being like mentally or emotionally abused the same way by your brother that your stepmom did.
Mhm.
It's confusing.
Yeah. And
It, you know,
and it's catch new episodes of Mental Health Mondays every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Start your week off with a smile and some inspiration.